Welcome
to the Bring Me to Life podcast.
It's time to wake up
and shine on.
Welcome everybody to the Bring Me to Life podcast. So good to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for waking up and shining on. My name is Selomon, joined by my lovely divine partner, Shannon Shine.
Hello. Thanks for being here. Thanks for waking up and shining on with us. We've got a good topic for you here today. We're going to be talking about, getting grounded, staying focused through the chaos. I feel like this is a topic we've covered a few times. But life is moving, and it's important for us to stay present, stay inspired, and not let the world around us get us down. There's a lot of different things that can be happening, but for the most part right now we're dealing with a full moon. And when we're recording this, you might not be listening to this during the full moon, but
Scorpio full moon.
There's usually a full moon not too far away. We get one once or twice a month, and it's a time to really reflect on our shadows and the energy that could be holding us back and could be a little chaotic, especially if you are listening to this during the Scorpio full moon. I
just realized your mic was muted there.
This whole time?
People heard you, but very quietly, and I do apologize for that.
Why do you do this
Sorry,
to me?
everybody. Yeah, that was my bad.
CeeLo has been rocking the technology lately, guys. Rocking it.
Dude, it's a constant,
Hi guys, Shannon Shine here. Hopefully you can hear me now. I was talking about some good stuff about how we're supposed to stay grounded and focused through chaotic times. So
yeah,
we're just going to laugh about it. That's a great way to stay grounded, is just kind of laugh at the situation. Some people may say that is bypassing, but to me, I'm like, if you can't laugh at yourself and you can't find ways to get through the darkness, then it's going to be rough.
Yes, we go through a lot in this life, and I think it's okay to experience those things. It's okay to mess up sometimes. It's okay that I messed up, and it happens. But there are things that we can do to move through that, and I'm excited to hear some of your experiences and excited to share some of mine.
Cool. Well, yeah, and that's part of this situation too. When you do things live and on the fly, you got to just kind of roll with it. You don't get to edit. Life's not edited, guys. TV might be edited, the news might be edited, things you listen to like music and stuff, they're probably edited. But life is real and experiences happen. And some of the ways that I get through things is asking myself if it's worth getting mad about, if it's going to matter in 10 years. That's a big one that someone taught me when I was younger, especially in relationships and friendships. When things get chaotic, is it really worth, hating your best friend of X amount of years over the fact that she forgot to call one time or something like that, something silly. So it's you got to really stay grounded and remember that the world doesn't revolve around you, and that there's things that have to happen to get you where you're at too. So sometimes we want something to happen a certain way. We have this dream vision of it being in perfect alignment, and Spirit's got other plans. So the everything that happens for a reason phrase that a lot of people hate has actually been super grounding for me, and something that I connected to when I was really, really young. Because I had a lot of death and a lot of destruction, a lot of darkness around me. And the thing that got me through was, this is all happening for a reason. Eventually it's going to get better, and I'm going to learn from it. And that's why I use my stories and the chaos to help remind me to appreciate the good times and to spread the message to others so that they don't get stuck in that cycle.
It can be a heavy cycle. And I was just talking to my friend Joseph Marlowe, and we were talking about just the heaviness of the world and how that can really weigh me down sometimes. How the older I get, a little more empathic I get, and the more I kind of pick up on the tragedies of the world. And we were talking about finding ways to let go of that heaviness. He was saying, with Mother Earth, on the path of helping to heal the mother, he was saying that she spoke to him and said, by healing himself, he is helping to heal the world. And so, that's a really powerful thing is when that kind of heaviness overcomes you, just being able to say, as long as I can work on myself in this moment here right now, then, at least I'm helping heal the world.
Yeah, you got to start with yourself. You got to start with your own mindset. And especially if you're somebody who can control the energy around you. And I think that we all can, but some of us tap into it more than others. And we've unlocked certain levels of energy control and how we respond to situations, and whether we stay inspired or whether we fall into a depression or whether we are able to stay present or we're stuck on the what ifs, had they been type thing. Like that really plays a part in your reality too, and what kind of energy you're attracting to you. Like if you're stuck in the past, you might keep attracting friends that are also stuck in the past that aren't ready to level up with you, or situations that hold you back into a just previous what's that, control drama, I think is what the Celestine prophecy calls it. Yeah. Like when you get stuck in control dramas, they can really just keep you from manifesting your reality. And I think it's really important to remember that anybody can light up a room, anybody can suck the energy out of a room, and how you respond is a really, really valuable part of you playing the game that is life. So staying present and staying mindful that you are the main player, you are the main actor of your existence. And, sometimes we work jobs or we get into situations where we feel like we are the victim and we have to, I don't know, like do things a very specific way, or the world around us is just going to crumble. And then, like maybe you call out one day or you do something different one time and the world doesn't crumble. And you're like, wow, okay, so I put all this pressure on myself so much for what? Like, why did I think that was so important? That was something I had to learn, and it took me a while, because when I was younger, I used to be like just killing myself to make it to every single school event, extracurricular class. I would take all the extra shifts because I didn't want people I was working with to be upset. And I never really called off ever. And then like the first time I was really, really sick and I had to call off, I had like a little bit of a meltdown and was like, I just feel like I'm letting everybody down and all the things. And it was like, like I called out, they still survived. The world did not end. And I needed that self-care and that ability to stay grounded and present. And it helped heal me. And then I was able to be more inspired to take action in different ways. So like, be mindful of how you exert yourself, and if you're filling your own cup up too. Yeah.
I personally sometimes I struggle with challenging times, and I may think that I have to work really hard in order to overcome those challenging times, or I have to do these things really perfectly. I have to do this meditation. I have to do these stretches and go into nature and whatnot. And that definitely helps. But I think what would help the most is just allowing myself to experience what I'm going through. So if I'm feeling like uninspired, rather than like pushing myself to be inspired, just allowing myself to feel what it is like to be uninspired.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be uninspired. Like I know I'll go down to my studio and I'll be like, I know I need to paint today. I just know it. I need to get it out of my system. I feel like I should be inspired, but I just didn't have it in me. And then I try to force myself to do something a certain way, or like a certain project that just isn't what I'm feeling in that moment. Like I'm not inspired to do it. And it never turns out as good as if I just pick up kind of random supplies that are feeling in that flow and just go with that. And like, sometimes I just make a mess and I just splatter on canvases or something. And like, I am uninspired, but something beautiful can come from it. And you were talking earlier about, like the heaviness of the world. And we have to remember that, you might not be able to fix world hunger or to cure the situation of all the homeless people. And like, even though we know there's homes out there for them, like maybe you can't do it all at once, but helping one little small step at a time, like buying somebody a meal or giving somebody some socks or something, like help people in the littlest ways possible just by showing up and being you. And that's the start somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like also just really important to remember who you are and to not get sucked into the heaviness of the world around you, because you have the power to change how you react to any situation. I kind of mentioned that earlier, but it's important to remember who you are and like what you want to stand for. Do you want to stand for being somebody who just instantly reacts all the time and blows up and makes a big deal out of everything? Or do you want to be known as being like more grounded and responsible and respectful, and inspiring a change, and like the change in how people respond to each other? Even like we're so used to seeing everybody blow up, and like there's even like viral things out there like prank wars and like just things where people literally try to make their partners and their friends react. And it's like, that's funny and all, but why do we have to force a reaction out of other people? Like, can't we just be more grounded and remember who we are and how we would want to be treated, and to not try to instigate a rise out of people? Like, I don't understand when people want to really get like a rise out of people that isn't change or inspirational.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that comes from them just trying to experience something from life, and that's what I'm saying. If we allow ourselves to go through any of our experiences, whether they are challenging or scary or whatever it might be, it's okay to accept what we're going through. It's okay to feel that, and then we can let it go. This is all energy. And when we close our hearts, that energy begins to get stuck. So while we're going through what we're going through, these challenging times, as we're just accepting it and being mindful of it, keeping our hearts open, the energy will keep flowing no matter what we're going through. And then I think that those challenging times will pass much more swiftly, and then we can move on and get back to those things that really help us, back to watering those seeds of change.
Yeah, so like getting refocused and really remembering, what those seeds were that you planted and like what it is that you came here to do. I've been talking about that a lot on my Insight Timer when I go live. I did one today about remembering who you are and really reflecting on what brings you joy to be alive. And I think that's something to really have in your mind, so that when you go through a challenging time, you can really ask yourself, like, am I showing up in my own ethical system? Am I remembering who I am? Am I acting in a way that I want to be remembered? And the focus thing too, like focusing on the mission at hand too. Like if you're feeling ungrounded, you're feeling uninspired, you're feeling like you can't stay present. I actually released a meditation today on my YouTube, but that is called Refocus Your Mind or Refocus Your Energy, something along those lines. Beautiful. Go to my Shantastic Shine YouTube. There's a meditation there, and it's got my drum in it.
Yeah, and it's Shantastic Shine. They just search it and find you that way.
I'm sure they can find my YouTube that way. If they go to my website, there's a link to my YouTube there too. It's under my freebies.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, that's really awesome. I think it's so cool that you've been able to incorporate meditations into your practice and into your lifestyle. Would you say that meditation has helped you in any way with staying present or grounded or inspired?
Meditation definitely has. I used to not really like meditating and sitting still. My meditation was always painting and walking and things like that. But the stillness has been an interesting addition to staying focused. And I think more like the breath work portion of it has been helpful, because I can do that when I'm walking or talking or anything like that. Like I find myself taking a moment when I'm doing like speeches and things like that to actually just breathe and reset, to make sure I'm talking about what I want to talk about and speaking in a way that I wish to speak. And the connection to my chakras in meditating that way in an emotional sense, and knowing what the different chakras mean to me and being able to meditate and breathe into that has been super helpful. When I did my chakra challenge a couple years ago, that's when I was really, really into it. And it completely shifted how I see things. So when there's a part of my body that hurts, or there's an emotion that I'm feeling and I don't know how to work through it, like if I'm feeling afraid of something, I try to focus on my root chakra. If I'm feeling like my confidence is low, I know I need to work on my sacral. If I'm feeling not supported, I check in on my solar plexus. If I feel like I'm not receiving or being witnessed the way I want to, or I'm not getting love, or just not able to receive, is your heart space. And sometimes I know I need to communicate better, and I'll meditate on my throat chakra, or express myself through my throat chakra. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Yo, spirit, can you like help me out? And that's where my third eye and my crown come in, and have to release the attachment to my little ego thinking that Shannon has to know everything, and instead be like, okay, spirit, you can just kind of like take over this body as a channel and help me get through whatever chaos is happening, whatever heaviness is happening. Like you can even do that with mundane tasks. Like if you don't feel like washing the dishes, just kind of like tap out for a second, release the attachment to the frustration that is the dishes, and just get through it. And, instead of being frustrated and angrily like washing every dish, like, I can't wait till this is done. I can't wait to go do this activity that I so want to do after every dish. And you're just getting angrier each dish you wash. And then you realize you're done. And then you turn around and there's 2 more on the table, and you're like, oh, I hate life. Everything is so heavy. And it's like, it really isn't that bad if you just release the attachment to the heaviness that is the dishes or the clothes or whatever it is, and you just push through it and dance through it and kind of laugh and ask spirit to just kind of like get you through that channel for a second, because it'll be over in 5-10 minutes or an hour or whatever the task at hand is. But
it's a lot of dishes for an hour.
You never know. I've been to some places where I've had to wash some dishes.
Y'all are out there. You're doing great.
But in general, what I'm saying is like, there's these little tasks that we get really angry about. Like you're cooking and you drop the rag off the stove or something, and you're just like, I hate everything. And I'll find myself do that. And then I just kind of laugh, and I'm like, it's really not that big a deal. I'm not going to remember that one time I dropped the towel in 10 years. I'm just like, we can get through this. You can be grounded and laugh it off and keep going.
Nice. Well, that's really nice. So I'm curious we were talking about meditation earlier, but do you have like a specific kind of meditation? Is there any meditations that you know of for like doing the dishes?
Well, that's why I brought it up, is I was talking about how I just kind of like will breathe through it, or I'll listen to a meditation, or I'll do a dance meditation.
Is there any like favorite channels, like people that anybody listening can look up on YouTube?
Oh man, I don't know. I look up Gabby Bernstein a lot. I go through phases. Sometimes she gets a little out there, but I've enjoyed a lot of her meditations. She has a Wanderlust meditation speech that gets me really inspired. Lisa Nichols is pretty cool. If you like really woo-woo and sassy and just kind of out there, more alien-y energy, this isn't meditation, but somebody I listen to is Jessa Reed, and she cracks me up. In Synchronicity, sometimes he'll do like mindful meditations throughout his podcasts. But if you want actual meditation, check out Gabby Bernstein. And then she's got a few like music pieces, like Sanskrit type things that she shares that really changed me when I was going through a dark time.
If anybody is also really into meditation and wants like to find a bigger community online, the app Insight Timer Shannon mentioned earlier is a really amazing like meditation, yoga, chill ambient music community. And you can go there. There's a bunch of music on there. People are going live all the time, at all times, for meditation from all over the world. And it's a really beautiful app. Shannon and I were both on there. And you can check us out by searching our names. Are you Shannon Shine on there?
I am Shannon Shine on there. So the Insight Timer is really awesome. If you ever want to check it out, it is a free app. People do readings on there. They do, like Sela said, all kinds of live things. And
I'm gonna read one of my short stories on there on Friday.
On Tuesdays I do Transformation Tuesday events, and usually those end in an ego eradicator, which is a type of meditation that I enjoy. And you kind of push out all of the oxygen that no longer serves, and you inhale fresh oxygen. You do it kind of fast, like the breath of fire. You put your hands in the air like you just don't care, and you pull that energy down.
My hands are in the air like I just don't care.
And I really like ending my Tuesday meditations with that. And then on Sunday I do a more kind of relaxed Sunday sanctuary. Sometimes we do grief processing, and meditation really helped me a lot with that, with the ability to connect with the grief that I was holding inside, which comes from the heaviness of the world as well. So if you haven't tried meditating and you're just feeling gross, you're feeling confused, you're feeling just like you don't even know how you're feeling, go check out Insight Timer, find a meditation. Silo's got tons of pre-recorded ones on there. I just uploaded a few more. And also Silo's YouTube is like rocking with meditations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a bunch of meditations on there. I come out usually with one a week. And if not, then it's like, it's pretty consistent. So
Meditation Monday.
Yeah. In my first meditation that reached 150,000 just happened.
Ooh.
So I'm excited to reach that milestone.
Surprised we don't have like a cheesy clap sound for the podcast. It's okay. You don't have to find it.
No. That's what. Okay, so what was I saying?
Going for
okay,
it.
so
This
one. This one. Okay, so ask me that again.
I don't even remember. I'm sorry.
So I reached my first milestone. my first meditation video that reached 150,000 plays just happened. Thank you.
You were awesome.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, audience, live studio audience.
All right. So Sila's got cool meditations on YouTube. I got some meditations on YouTube. I've been playing my drum more, guys. It's been great. I play my drum on Insight Timer. So yeah, go check us out on Insight Timer. There's some cool stuff happening there. They're pretty supportive. It's neat because we used to carry so much equipment from place to place all over our place and like all over our hometown, all over the country, basically. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we'd get a lot of people. Sometimes we would have not very many people. But on Insight Timer, it's really neat because you can connect with people all over the world. Mm-hmm. So today I had someone in Germany. I had some people in Australia. I think I had someone close to Singapore. And I had people all over the country in Canada. And yeah, it was really cool. So check out Insight Timer. Be supportive there. We have on-demand stuff. We have live stuff. And yeah, there's lots of other stuff all over the place. Bring Me to Life has some cool things. Yeah. If you need to stay grounded, check that out too.
Yep. And I would also highly encourage people to check out our Patreon because we do monthly workshops, sound healing ceremonies, card readings, and many other things. You can even join us for some discussions by joining our third tier of our Patreons. But there's a few different tiers for every budget.
Yeah, Patreon's this cool website where you can do micro donations and support the creators you actually care about. And you should do it. You should do it because, why pay cable and get a whole bunch of crappy cable and support things cable that you don't even pay attention to when you could be listening to a high vibe podcast. You could be supporting musicians, artists, other high vibe creators doing things that they love.
We even have a YouTube playlist here on, wherever you're listening. We have it on bringmetolife.com/BM2LTV. BM2LTV.
Yeah, we just added some stuff to it. I think there's an energy forecast from our friend BP if you're wondering what's going on with the Scorpio full moon.
Yeah.
And we have some music videos on one of the TV portals. And yeah, I want to see more music videos. I think that it's a good way to see into like musicians' creative process. And I was reminiscing on how I used to watch them, back when MTV actually had music videos, at least in the morning and stuff. I don't even know if MTV is still a thing, guys, because I don't watch TV. We just start creating our own version where you can find music videos by cool high vibe musicians.
Yeah. Check it out. And, I'm excited. This is the end of the month. We have a fresh new theme for next month. And it's going to be really fun because one of our podcasts lands on May the 4th. And I'm like, pretty into the May the 4th be with you theme. So we're going to get a little spacey probably and do some spacey episodes for next month.
I want to talk about Prism of Lyra. If you haven't read Prism of Lyra, you should totally do it. There's a PDF of it out there. You can have your Google Docs read it to you like an audiobook if you need to, because we're going to talk about Prism of Lyra. We're going to talk about galactic heritage. We're going to talk about star seeds, Star Wars, and how it's like kind of a representation of some of the galactic chaos and why you may feel like an alien, because most of us do.
Beautiful. Well, do you have any other things that you would like to share for today's episode?
I think we're going to keep today's short and sweet. You can check out more on Patreon. This week we already did a workshop on planting seeds. We did a sound ceremony. If you enjoy music, you can also check that out on our YouTube. We did a little sneak peek there so that you can see what it's like to be a part of our Patreon, where you can also join us and get a card reading during that experience. But yeah, this has been great. I hope you guys have had a great month. It's beautiful outside where we're at today, and I think it's time to get some more nature and chillax, fill my own cup up, and invite you to do the same.
All right, everybody, stay awake.
Shine on always.
For many of us, spirituality is just the quest to find essence or true meaning and to really just connect with a higher consciousness.
Connecting with your spirituality is very important in this life. By becoming mindful of all of it, you can realize where you are and if that is leading you to where you want to go.
Listen to the little simple things, because it's those little simple things that are going to shift you vibrationally in such a way that will prepare you to become very intuitively minded and ready to step forward on the next part of your path.
I hope you can feel the love that's inside you, it's inside me, that connects us.
Thanks for shining on with us.